1 minute, Dave. 1 minute.
Hi audience, what's up? It's Greg Stero here to introduce you to the True Blue Riffcast, where they talk about amazing movies, bad movies, and everything in between. So you're listening to the True Blue Riffcast. Enjoy it.
Hey, thanks, Greg. This is the True Blue Riffcast, the #1 Riff Tracks podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and I am hopefully joined by my co-host. There he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
It was really quiet. I couldn't tell if you were still there or not.
No, I'm still here. I'm still outside. You can't hear. Well, you might be able to hear the ambience now because now I'm walking through a flooded part of the park. Oh, I'm Dave, by the way, everybody. It's me, Dave.
Oh man, Dave, how you been?
I'm doing great. I'm doing okay.
Is it great or is it okay? Come on, Dave.
What's that?
I said, are you great or are you okay?
I'm Grood. It's a combination between great and good. I'm Grood.
All right.
I am Grood.
So what's new with you, Dave?
Oh, nothing. That's as you know, I like to read books.
Yeah. Being the authorly type that you are.
Yes, I'm so quite scholarly, this and that. But like, I generally read what like most like author scholar types call trash. That's the technical word for it. And so that's generally also what I write. Sorry to all my audiobook narrators out there, but I write it's kind of trashy stuff, and that's okay. But every now and then, because like, okay, so I guess I'll tell this whole story. About a month ago, I joined this writers group with 65,000 people in it called Writer to Writer, and it's filled with like all these horrible book snobs. And I started posting like my rules for writers, and a lot of it is just like I've become the most hated person in this group of 65,000 people. There are memes about me in this group, all these like little whiny book snobs saying that I'm commanding them to teach it, that I'm like enforcing my will upon them as writers. It's so great. And like every like 3 or 4 posts, I'm not kidding, is a complaint about me. Like the shorthand for it is DC. Like DC thinks his crap doesn't stink, blah, blah, blah. But among this, so that's like one of the things that's happened in my life. And the moderators are nowhere to be seen, so I can just like do whatever I want there. And I started an offshoot group from that called it's on Facebook. It's a public group. You can search for it. It's Dave Chadwick's. I believe Jeremy's in it.
Yes,
I am. Dave Chadwick's writing and reading group, and that's where my fan club is now from that group. But like one of the when we talk about books and stuff like that, a lot of these book snobs. Now, I'm not trashing anybody in my group. I'll trash everybody in the other group all day long. But everybody in my group is great. They're awesome. I'm not talking about those guys. But, like, a lot of book snobs really love The Great Gatsby.
Ugh.
And every now and then, I feel the need to be like, well, I'm smart. I need the acceptance of smart people who read smart things. And like I made this mistake a long time ago, like with Dickens. So like every now and then, I'd say it's about every 7 years, I get this itch where I just need to be like, cue classical music behind me, be like refined, Artur, blah, 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 like all that. So The Great Gatsby is a book that comes up a lot. And so I downloaded the audio book for it. It's in the Audible Plus catalogs. I didn't have to pay for it. It's included in my subscription, because I go through books like water, man. Like audiobooks, I do nothing like as my night job as an overnight custodian. I just like put on an audiobook, I just let it run, and my Audible counter gets up to like sometimes in September of 2020 got up to like 300 hours. So I can I'll just let it go and I just burn through books. So I've been listening to The Great Gatsby, and it's the biggest waste of time. It's so boring. It's like I'm not engaged. I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like it's just like, you know what? I can be trash.
It's The Great Gatsby, Dave. Of course, it's boring.
But people talk about it like it's the most amazing, life-changing thing. I think it's worse than.
And everybody hates it. Everybody hates it. They're too afraid to be shunned by their peers to admit that they hate it.
To admit that they hate The Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: what about Catcher in the Rye? I don't know which is worse.
It's a book. We had to read it in school back in the day. I remember it didn't do anything for me.
But no, it's just man, just so I think just like the classics for me, I don't know. To me, there's no value in it. I would rather read the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, which is a fantastic book, by the way. That sounds like a joke, but it's not. I read that. It came out like a month before the movie did, back in 2005, and I was stationed in Germany. And I read it. This is the most amazing thing.
Did Brooks do that one too? Because I know he did. Terry Brooks.
No, he did The Phantom Menace.
Yes,
which I actually did read.
I did too.
A few days ago. It's narrated by Grover Gardner. No, the Revenge of the Sith was written by a guy named Matthew Stover.
Okay, I've heard of him.
That's an excellent book, and I think it colored my reception of the movie a little bit, because when it came out, I was way into Revenge of the Sith back when I was 24, and then I kind of went sideways on it. I was kind of embarrassed that I liked it for a really long time, and then I watched it again, and I was just like, okay. All right, I'm back with you on this. But it's a good book.
Nice. So as everybody may notice, if you follow myself or the podcast on Twitter, I think I put it on our podcast Twitter, but I did start my new job finally. Woo! After being off of work for 3 weeks.
Oh, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, but I started in the middle of a pay period, so thankfully I don't have to wait that much longer before we get the first paycheck. It's only a half paycheck, but it's better than no paycheck, so I'll take it.
Than nothing, yeah.
And these last, we don't have anything left on our credit card. The last couple weeks have been a little rough. Thank you to the people who have helped us out. There were a few people that reached out, and I greatly appreciate it. It was enough to get us through. So thank you again to everybody who did that for us. Now we're gonna move on to something a little more lighthearted. And we're gonna check in and see what the hell is James Wan doing.
Yeah.
So there's been a few things that have popped up since our last episode. We talked about the picture of James Wan at Alfred Hitchcock's star on the Walk of Fame. I don't remember if we mentioned his post about Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle being approved to qualify for consideration at the 95th Academy Awards.
This man lives in such a fantasy world.
And basically all that means is it was released within the proper window to be submitted, and not the fact that it's going to be, actually considered for anything.
Okay,
because we all know it's
hold on, wait a
definitely
minute.
not going to be considered for
I just
anything.
had a thought that I have to say.
What? I don't know if I want to hear it.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering, in James Wen's fantasy world, like where he's up there accepting the Oscars, I need to be at that Oscar so I can go up and slap him somehow.
It'd be like a Will Smith, Chris Rock thing.
Yeah, no, that's
you just
exactly
walk
what
up
it would
there
be.
and bam!
Just like slap the crap out of him. I'm trying to figure out how I could make that happen.
Josh Flower says, if it wins, we burn everything down.
If it wins, we burn it. If Roman Reigns wins, we burn everything down.
Oh man! So
we riot.
Yeah. We all know that's part of his delusion.
Yeah.
And then his next tweet from July 24th. Imagine if all countries were to invest $1 trillion per year for the next 10 years.
Okay.
In direct carbon capture tech, like Climate Works, to remove 100 gigatons of CO2 per year in Earth's atmosphere, global warming may be fixed. James Wen, climate activist.
So
but it's not maybe. It's the word maybe.
So every country in the world spends $1 trillion for how long?
For per year for the next 10 years.
Okay, so that's $10 trillion.
Just from the U.S.
Just from the United States. Canada's got to do it. Great Britain's got to do it. China's got to do it. Montenegro's got to do it.
Ethiopia's got to do it. Everybody. Guam. Oh, no, Guam's a U.S. territory.
No, Guam's us. USA. But it
I just like saying
but
Guam.
We don't get political here. But yeah, that's right. That's right, everybody. My secret's out. My controversial hot take is that Guam should be a state.
Hey, so should Puerto Rico, but
Yeah, and I also think that we should annex Cuba forcibly by military force, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, Josh has a good idea here. He says he should have had a slap to the face to be a Kickstarter prize. He would have gotten a lot more money.
He would have gotten at least $7 from me.
I would have paid that to go smack him in the face. Oh man!
But let's get to the big James Wen, the big Jimmy Noodles news.
Which one? The new nonprofit, or the song?
Well, let's do both. Okay, let's do the song first, and then let's do the new nonprofit.
Okay, so the newest tweet from James Wen is that Birdemic 3's original song, Cosmic Beauty, sang by Damian Carter, has been approved to qualify for original song for the 95th Academy Awards.
Yeah, it's right up there with That Thing You Do and My Heart Will Go On. And,
Cosmic Beauty.
That song from Oliver and Company. I'm trying to think of all the songs that have been nominated for best song that I can remember.
That song from Moana. I know that was one of them.
Colors of the Wind.
Let It Go.
Circle of Life.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
The Hobgoblin song.
Hey, that's definitely better. I haven't even heard Cosmic Beauty yet, and the Hobgoblin song is way better than Cosmic Beauty. All right, the big news here though is this is a continuation of his other one about all the countries given $1 trillion per year. But we've got to find ways to fix the climate change / global warming crisis. James Wen is starting a nonprofit organization called Imagine Earth 2032. Also, a YouTube channel called Imagine Earth 2032 to be launched before on July 2022.
Okay. So...
And then he has a
This is the
7.5 long minute video up on the new YouTube channel, which I'm not going to play because Dave can't participate in listening.
Yeah, I can't. So I'll have to do it when I get back home. So, like, here's the thing with the whole, and I'm not going to take a side on the whole global warming issue because, like I said before, we don't do that here.
Yep.
But
we only talk about bad movies, guys.
Yeah. But I think within the global warming debate, a lot of people like James Wen. What they like to do is they put and it's to their detriment, is that they put a year, or they say the Earth is going to end on X day or in X amount of years.
Yeah.
And then when that they think it's so far into the unforeseeable future that like they're not going to be able to prove anything. So like when 2032 comes around and we're all still here and we're, some other crap storm like COVID or 9/11 has happened, people are going to realize like, well, it's 2032 and we're all still around. We don't care about, and we still don't care about global warming. Like what is happening here?
Yeah.
It's like you can't say and that's in 2032. That's in 10 years. Okay. Now, if you're in 2012, now Pandemic 2 came out in 2013. So if there was if James Wan had said to be like, okay, the birds are attacking, so that I never quite understood the correlation between the birds attacking and global warming. That never made sense to me. Are the birds trying to prevent global warming?
Yeah, they're trying to save the Earth by killing the people who are destroying it.
Well, then why don't the people let them? If this is a pro-global warming, aren't the birds the good guys?
I mean, yeah. That's what it seems to be.
Yeah.
Josh says I'm sure he doesn't understand either.
Yeah. But it's like...
Probably not.
So if they said be like... If in Pandemic 2, I haven't seen Pandemic 2 in a long time, but I'm just applying the logic to Imagine Earth 2032 to Pandemic 2 because it's around the same time frame. If he had said there's going to be a bird attack in the year so that the Earth is not habitable in the year 2023, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
He just looks silly. I mean, okay. Well, I suppose he doesn't care about that. But still, don't put a number on this stuff, guys.
Yeah. Oh, James. Well, that's enough about that crazy man. Let's go look at the weekend box office results. The number one movie, DC League of Super Pets, brand new film this weekend. Followed closely by Jordan Peele's Nope.
For some reason I heard that as Jordan Peterson's Nope. I was like, Jordan Peterson has a movie out? That's weird. And it was number 2?
Yeah, that'd be even more bizarre, I think. Thor: Love and Thunder at 3rd, Minions: The Rise of Gru at 4th, and Top Gun: Maverick sitting comfortably in 5th place. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
It was in 5th place last week, too, so he's just hanging around. This is like the biggest movie of Tom Cruise's career. I mean, it might be up there. I'm not sure. I don't have all the numbers in front of me, and quite honestly, I don't care enough to look. But
it's made over $1 billion.
Yeah, it's made a nice little chunk of change. Nice little chunk of change indeed. I have no interest in watching DC League of Super Pets.
Oh, me neither.
Not even when it comes out on HBO Max. The only thing that interests me about it is Keanu Reeves voicing Batman. and I just want to see how he handles it. Whoa.
You're breathtaking.
I know Kung Fu. I'm Batman.
You know, I never saw the Matrix movies until 2018 when I watched them with the riff tracks. And I was like, oh, this is where all that dumb, like, this is where all those catchphrases come from. I get it now.
Yeah. I like the first one okay. I mean, I've watched the other two, and they're fine. They're I've obviously seen way worse, you know. Some are blockbuster-wise even, but they're not great after the first one, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is.
I have no use for them.
Yeah.
Outside of riff tracks. Like the Wachowskis are crazy.
A little bit.
You saw
like crazy movie ideas.
Look at Cloud Atlas. It's just like, what is happening here?
They actually said in an interview that they wanted to make the audience work for answers with that movie.
No, screw you, Lana, and what's the other one's name? Lily.
I think so. I don't know. I don't remember that. I remember they're the Wachowskis. That's it.
Yeah. Like,
that's all I've ever known them as.
We want to. Hang on. Sorry.
Is that an airplane or a car?
Yeah, it's an airplane.
The ambiance of Dave's. Surprised it's not a helicopter again. I liked it when it was a helicopter.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that, everybody.
Well, here. I got an idea, Dave. We're gonna take a 30-second break.
We're gonna take a 30-second break.
30-second break right now.
Okay.
30-second break. Boink. As soon as this will load. All right.
What is happening?
We're in a 30-second ad break.
Oh, well, it's gone now.
Well, now we have 20 seconds left of our ad break.
Okay. I didn't know
I had to turn off
that. I didn't know you could do that.
I actually got the ads I could always do. I just never did. But I got signed up for the new ad thing. Like, they chose me to do it, where they run automatically, like every 30 minutes. And we're back.
Yeah,
so the airplane is gone. Yeah.
Yeah, the airplane is gone.
We're not going to abuse the ad button. Don't worry. It's not like it's going to become a thing. I did get set up with the auto roll ads, but I turned those off during the podcast because you're supposed to get a warning, like at whatever time you choose, and I chose 3 minutes before the ad rolls, and I don't get that warning, so they just kind of go. We can't have that during the podcast because if we don't know when the ads are going, we're just going to keep talking and nobody's going to be able to hear us. So I promise not to abuse that button. We'll only use it for airplanes and helicopters and such when Dave's out and about, or when the mail shows up and my dogs start losing their minds. That way, you guys don't have to listen to that. But yeah, we were talking about the Wachowskis and making their audiences work for answers. Yeah,
that's not good movie making. It's like I'm not going to pay $25 to go see a movie at 9 a.m. and to have the Wachowskis be like, well, you have to work for it. I'd be like, I already worked for this. Make with the explodies and stuff. It's you weirdos.
Yeah, I don't mind, having to think a little bit while I'm watching certain movies, but movies are about escapism, right?
Yeah. It's about look, I don't want to have to think too much while I'm watching this dinosaur eat people movie. Jurassic Park, that's what I'm going to call it now. Dinosaur eat people.
Dinosaur eat people one.
Dinosaur eat people.
Yes.
But no. Like I said, I like trash.
Okay, this is why movies like Jurassic Park and World and all the Marvel movies, this is why they usually do so well, because you go in, turn your brain off, lots of things exploding, lots of noise, lots of movement, not much thinking. Entertainment.
and you can pretend like your life isn't so horrible for a short while.
For 2 hours at a time.
Like my life is exciting. It's I don't work. It'd be like it. Retail workers need that especially.
Yes,
a lot.
Yes, we do. Even the managers, we need it because we deal with a whole bunch of crap all day. All day. You know who whose life was really bad?
I bet somebody whose head was in a pan, whose rhymes with pan.
Yeah, Jan Compton. Her life got real bad real quick.
Oh, real bad.
Oh, our fact checker in the chat, Josh Flowers. Top Gun Maverick is Tom Cruise's highest grossing movie. He looked it up for us.
Nice. Thanks, Josh.
We are talking, of course, about the latest Riff Tracks presents The Brain That Wouldn't Die, also known as The Head That Wouldn't Die, or The Brain That Couldn't Die. This movie had 4 titles, actually, because there was one other one, The Black Door.
How many of them do we actually see in the movie? I know we see at least two in the movie.
We see 2. Some of the prints for the movie have the opening title, The Brain That Wouldn't Die, and the closing title, The Head That Wouldn't Die. And this one is that print because they do make the joke about that at the end, where they're like, the head that wouldn't die, or brain. But this movie is kind of important in as far as Riff Tracks is concerned.
Yeah, it's another
all the way back for the fandom. This was the first movie on Mystery Science Theater that Mike Nelson riffed.
Yep.
After Joel left, and Mike moved from head writer to experiment person.
Yep. I imagine he was still the head writer.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't just the head writer. So yeah, that in and of itself makes this a very special movie. Other than the fact that the full version is interesting.
Yeah, the full version. Yeah, it's it's okay. It's definitely an exploitation movie.
Oh
it's an exploitation movie that, in certain aspects of exploitation, doesn't really take advantage of the exploitation. It's rather cheap, and it's kind of boring. And kind of nonsensical, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
I was surprised at how much was going on.
Josh says this was the first MST3K episode that he ever owned.
Nice,
a good way to start the collection. I'm really was thinking about this the situation in this movie as far as Jan and the Pan is concerned, and. It really would be horrifying.
Yeah, I wanted to know how she was talking, because it's just I would think, don't you need lungs?
Yeah, you need to be able to. Well, maybe there was something hooked up in the whole neck thing, where it would force air through it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but this movie,
I felt so bad for that actress.
Yeah, let's just only have your face. And you don't move. You're just head is sitting here.
You have to be under this table. Now Now I do have to give them credit. They did build a prop that they could shoot from behind, where you could see underneath the table.
Yeah.
So okay, thumbs up. You're already 10 times better than a Roger Corman movie.
Oh, this is way better than a Roger Corman movie. Are you kidding me? Yeah. The movie was completed. It was done in 1959, and its first title was The Black Door. It didn't get released until 1962 under The Brain That Wouldn't Die as a double feature with Invasion of the Star Creatures.
Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
I feel like we should know what that is.
Yeah, I've heard of it before, and I'm looking at the cover, and I've seen this picture before. It's basically women in the futuristic clothing, which was just shiny bikinis, in like test tubes, and then there's like a creature holding a fainted woman in the back. But the other really interesting thing about this movie was public domain from the day of its release.
Well, yeah, because
they screwed the copyright notice.
Yeah, this was before the days when that thing was important.
Yeah.
Because the same thing happened to, very famously, of course, happened to Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
And it automatically went into the public domain. But I can't imagine that like the studio or anybody behind the making of this movie was terribly misses this as like, like this is my exclusive property,
Yeah.
But
this guy's basically budget Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The main character, Dr. Bill.
Kortner?
Yeah, Kortner. Dr. Bill. The movie starts off in an operating room, and his dad, a different doctor, is working on a patient who they pronounce dead.
Yeah.
And Bill's all right, let me try now.
And his dad's like, no, you psycho.
And he's like, he's already dead. What does it matter?
I could be like, well, I think, you're such a coward, Dad. I can't. Let me do my experiment things. And his dad's like, well, fine. And so he immediately takes over. And he says something about open the chest cavity and massage the heart. Also, let me see that brain. And they have this terrible brain prop.
Yeah.
And he massages the brain or something. And he saves the patient, brings him back. Somehow that stimuli brought the patient back to life somehow.
Yeah, it obviously doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, massaging the heart, sure, I can see that, but not going in and poking at his brain
rubbing your brain with latex gloves. No, that's gonna kill you.
We're just gonna massage this part of your brain here, the part that controls if you're alive or not.
Oh. Yeah.
The brain's like, oh, I needed that. Thanks. I just needed a rest. Oh man. So his dad, Bill Senior, has to go off to this medical conference, and Dr. Bill Jr. and his girlfriend Jan, or fiance or girlfriend? Fiance.
I thought it was his wife.
No, they weren't married yet because they were talking about how badly they wanted to be married so they could do things to each other.
Year, I promise. In a couple of weeks or something. I
yeah.
promise. But okay.
She couldn't stand not having him anymore.
All these women, jumping a little bit ahead, but not much. Just to make a point, is that this man has women just throwing themselves at him,
fighting over him even.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to that. And he's the blandest dude. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they had. Maybe he was very. He is a dapper fellow, but he is kind of
he's milquetoast.
He has one mode. Even when he's in mad scientist mode, he's just the dude. And his attitude is very consistent throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And he must be throwing off pheromones left and right for these women, man. These 1950s women.
Seriously, because they just all go after him like crazy. So he leaves to go up to the family's country house where the dad's like, I should have sold that after your mom died. That place creeps me out. And he's like, but I do my experiments there so no one will bother me. And he's you shouldn't be doing that. And
then he's like, well, you're the one that got me all those limbs. And he's like, I shouldn't be doing that.
No, he told him, he's like, are you the one who's stealing all of those limbs from the amputation ward? And he's like, so what if I am?
And then it's just like, whoa. Like
they're not using them anymore.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, so like he's trying to put together his own Frankenstein. So they go off. It's just like the weirdest thing, and they bring it up so casually. It's just like, so what if I am? So what if I'm awful? It's not like I'm killing people.
Yeah, I'm just taking body parts.
He never managed to success. Look, okay, throughout this whole movie, this guy, the bad man, the bad bland man.
Yeah.
He does not successfully kill anybody.
No.
Okay.
No, he almost does. He gets close.
Yeah. But then, okay, well, that's jumping way, 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 way ahead. So they get into their car, and they're just like speeding. And then we see there's like this montage. I think this is probably the best driving montage we've ever had in Riff Tracks. Because instead of just showing the drive, like we see in things like Manos and Birdemic, and there's just lots and lots of examples, but those are the two most prominent. They throw a lot of road signs at you.
A lot of road signs.
Yeah, there's like a roadside montage, and it's meant to imply that Bill is going very, very fast.
Yes.
And then I think there's an accident. Just like I don't know what causes the accident.
He wrecks the car because he's going through all the curves in the winding road, and he's going so fast.
Like, I didn't know Jan was in the car with him. Just like when he so he's thrown from the car, like very clumsily. It's done pretty badly.
Yes,
like it's
as you would expect.
And he goes rolling down. He's thrown like 500 feet, and he's fine. But he goes back, and he like wandering like, brr, and he wanders back to the car. So, I thought he had found another car that was like on fire, because like it's not made really that clear that an accident happened. I mean, it's just kind of like, was he just thrown from the car? What happened?
Yeah,
but the car is on fire, and there's like it's implied visually that there's a mangled, that he's looking at a mangled corpse, while all this weird. Well, okay.
Yeah, all you see is the hand.
Yeah, we'll talk about the music, but the music does kind of like lessen the creepy tone a little bit. But we'll talk about that when we rank the thing. But so he takes his jacket off, throws it in the car, and brings it back. Now, this is why I was like, what is he getting? And I was like, well, of course he's getting the head. Okay, I get it. I know this because I know this movie is about a talking head.
A talking head?
A talking head? That should have been the hey, ding 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 episode title.
Yeah, I'll change it from Jane in the Pan. It'll be a talking head.
A talking head. I'll be sure to put the a talking cat. What do you call it? Like exclamation point, question mark. Yeah, interrobangs. Yeah. So he they're very close to the cabin. So he has her head, which is clearly dead at this point. I mean, it's been removed from the body, and it's dead. There's no way that it can survive, especially like he's got it in his jacket. So he goes to his cabin, and his amputee assistant, who helps him out with all his Dr. Frankenstein experiments.
I'm sorry. Okay, you know how at the very beginning of the movie, I have to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Okay.
When the title is showing up, The Brain That Wouldn't Die, and you hear the voice saying, "Kill me, just kill me, let me die," like really quietly.
Yeah.
Josh Flowers said, "Now I want to hear Duffy, the talking cat, say, kill me, just let me die." Can somebody get Eric Roberts on that, please? He is on Cameo. I think he was like $85 at last.
Yeah,
at
it'll
last
definitely
check.
be worth the $500 for a professional use thing.
Go get Eric Roberts. Oh no, this could be just get him to say as Duffy, kill me,
Okay.
kill me, just let me die.
And he'll
Please,
say,
somebody
"Who?
do it."
I was drunk off. Like he does not remember a talking cat. Okay.
Just tell him to do it over like a speakerphone in the other room and put his phone
Yeah.
by.
Kind of like how I'm doing it right now. So look big.
Okay, back to the story.
Anyway,
He's carrying her
we're
head.
at the cabin. We're at the evil experiment.
The country
cabin
home.
with the amputee assistant,
Kurt.
and they like puts her head in the jar, and he's got like maple syrup coming down into the pan, and that brings her back to life. Oh, also, by the way, there's a monster. They have a monster locked up in the closet.
Yes, he is an abomination that is, what's he say, he's too terrifying for any human mind to comprehend.
Yeah, and so like he goes up and he looks at it with good, like, oh yes, he's still here. How you doing? He almost starts like, yeah, it's super weird. So he's like, well, I have to go get Jan a body. I'm gonna go to a burlesque house, and I'm going to look for I'm gonna go perv on some ladies. See if I can find like the perfect body to attach to have a head transplant.
And his assistant's like, it's not even going to be the same person. What about her heart? What about her mind? Or like, her mind will be there, duh.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what about her soul?
Hey, look, I don't think he cares about any of that.
No, he just wants to bang her.
Yeah, he just wants, because
That's it. That's all it is.
what? Okay, I'm not going to make that joke. I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna make-
let's keep moving, Dave. I think I
Yeah.
know probably what you were going for, and we'll.
Yeah. Some kind of delivery system. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So he goes to this burlesque house, and like this one girl's dancing up on him, like way into him. So he's like, come on into the back and sit between my lamps. And so he goes back, and like she is like coming on to him hard.
Big time.
And I think, like, how old did she say she was? She's like, I'm over 21.
Yeah.
And then Bridget and Mary Jo say, oh, just a smidge.
Yeah, because she looks like she's in her mid-30s at the youngest.
Yeah. And then another lady walks in and will be like, I just came back here to take off all my clothes.
And Bridget and Mary Jo are like, isn't that what your job is?
Yeah. So, like, they basically start fighting over Bill, and Bill's like, "Oh, I can't. I don't know about any of this. So
I'm out."
Yeah, I'm gonna see you guys later." Like he's having none of it. He's being like, he's not about this life.
No, he
So-
leaves, and then we get a cat fight.
Yeah, she like, takes her dress off. And
Yeah, it's basically the same cat fight from Manos, except it's only two of them.
yeah.
And Bridget and Mary Jo are just like, I feel like this scene was made for a specific demographic.
Yeah, weirdo men in the 1950s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's not even that fun to watch. I mean, I could say some things
was
that'll
pretty
make me
boring.
sound like a gigantic pig, so I'm not going to say it. But I'm showing restraint. Isn't that great? Now that we're live, Dave has to show restraint.
I appreciate it, for one.
Yeah. So very, very, very oddly staged and choreographed cat fight, and
Yes.
then we shift back to the lab, and Jan and the Pan and the assistant have a very long talk that I don't remember.
She's talking to him about what her fiance did to him, and isn't that when she's like communicating with the guy behind the door too?
That's the crux of that's how the story progresses in that scene, because like movies like this, story has to progress in each scene.
Yeah.
Which is good storytelling. Everybody in writer to writer, every scene must advance the story. I don't care. You can hate me all you want, but every scene must advance the story. But the way the story advances is that we get the information that Jan in the Pan can there's something in the maple syrup that Jan in the Pan can now telepathically communicate with the monster behind the door.
If that's all it takes is maple syrup, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, so it's he'd be like, "Here, watch, I can prove it." And she like sends like vibes. She like sends good vibes out to the monster behind the closet and makes some kind of noise and just be like, "How dare you!" So
if you can understand me, knock twice.
Yeah.
But she talks to the assistant about what he did, what Bill did to him, and he replaced his hand, but now he's horrifying. I can't go out in public because people will be afraid of me because of my hand.
Well, just move to Chicago.
They're just like, put a glove on.
Go to Chicago and kill Harrison Ford's wife. That was a long way to go for not a whole lot of payoff.
Yeah.
It's The Fugitive, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome.
Bill keeps trying to find the perfect body. He's gonna kill somebody. And
so he remembers apparently this model who was like he's dealt with before.
Yeah, it was one of his ex-girlfriends. We forgot about Kurt. Poor Kurt. What happens to Kurt?
What does happen to Kurt?
He accidentally leaves the hatch and the door unlocked.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
and the monster rips his arm off.
Oh yeah. Right, and he dies. Yeah.
He bleeds out chocolate syrup.
But okay. First of all, he goes through the whole house just like smearing the blood all over the walls.
It's like all over the door.
I feel like they had to pad the movie out, and so they just spaz around and get all this gunk. I mean, it's not really red. I mean, we don't even know what colorization is. What? Wizard of Oz? Huh?
It's a surprise that this movie was 82 minutes long.
Yeah.
Even honestly,
but
that was definitely pushing it.
It's okay, so you're going to leave the one set we have and then go up into the living room set and just bumble around there for a couple minutes, then come back down and die. So Bill, meanwhile, is going back to one of his old girlfriends who is a nude art model who is very good at hiding disfiguring scars on her face.
Yes.
Doesn't recognize her old boyfriend.
Might have face blindness.
Be like, next time, bye. And she some creepy guy hits on her. Be like, hey, you want to come down and get drinks with me? She's like, nah, you're creepy. Go away. And so that guy F's off. And Bill's like, hey, you remember me? I'm Bill Courtner. She's like, Bill Courtner. You would think if we had such I think, didn't he, wasn't it said or implied that he was the one that fixed her after whatever dumb crap happened to her to disfigure her face?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says it'd be like, he's like, well, look at my scar. She just moves her hair a little bit. Be like, here's a scar. Everyone's gonna say I'm a freak. I'm a freak. Gooble gobble, gooble gobble.
One of us.
So he's like, well, I could fix you. All you have to do is come to my dad's summer home.
I'll give you a completely different head.
Yeah, he's like, she's like, really? Well, I just think that would just be so great. I trust you immediately. Let's go right now. Oh, I have to call my girlfriend to tell her that I won't be around. He's like, no, don't do that. That will implicate me in your disappearance.
Can't have that.
Yeah. So he stops her from calling her girlfriend and just gets her in the car, which I don't know. Like, I thought he wrecked his car.
It was probably a different car.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's
sorry.
right.
From the family house, vacation home.
But like, you'd think at some point they would be like, we should move this burning wreck of a car out off the street. But it's never. I don't think it's ever addressed whatever happened to the first car.
Nope.
But so he takes her back, and says like, okay, stay up here in the living room, new girl, and I'm gonna go get my dad. And he goes downstairs, and he sees the murdered body, and he says something pithy to Jan in the Pan.
He tapes her mouth shut.
Yeah. They make some roofies, goes up and be like, well, my dad's going to take some convincing here. This will loosen you up for me and my dad. This isn't creepy at all.
No.
So she takes the roofie and passes out, and she spends the rest of her performance unconscious.
Yep, lying on a table.
Yeah. So anyway, she goes down, and she carries her down, and he's like starts to Jan in the Pan like is able to like spit or like get the tape off her mouth.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, she gets it off, and it doesn't make
able
sense,
to
obviously, but
she's able to communicate to the monster in the door, be like, I don't know, why did Bill go over and stand by in the only dangerous spot for him in the entire house? Why did he go over and stand next to the unlatched door? Doesn't make any sense.
Just a plot hole. Just
okay.
a little MacGuffin stroll.
Yeah,
if you
like,
want.
I'm going to go over here. Nothing bad could possibly happen. I was about to murder this girl, so I can bang her with my wife's head on her body. So
nothing disturbing about this movie at all.
So anyway, he goes over there, and Jan in the Pan like sends good vibes to the monster to break through the door. Makes you wonder why
they had the door in the first place.
Break through the door before. Yeah. But anyway, he comes out, puts his arm through the door, grabs Bill, and I guess
bites a chunk out of his neck.
Yeah, and just like busts through the door, and he's like this weird conehead monster.
Patrick Swayze, eat your heart out.
Yeah,
or rip your throat out, or whatever.
Yeah, and so basically, everything gets lit on fire. Bill dies, and Jan in the Pan is laughing as she burns to death and be like, you should have killed me. And the monster carries Doris, I think her name is, carries her away.
Yeah.
And the end, the head that wouldn't die.
Doris Powell, yeah. And then we get the head that wouldn't die at the end there.
So that was a movie.
And okay, I'll get to this when we get to effects, because I actually didn't mind some of it. Like, some of it looked good, and like you said, they made that whole table rig.
Yeah,
that looked decent. Like Josh,
I think the effects were okay.
Like Josh said, the new transfer of the movie makes the mannequin head so much more obvious, which it does. You can tell, but it's still, for a movie that was made in 1959. It's not horrible. It actually has a story to it.
Yeah.
No,
so I didn't mind this. I mean,
what do you want to give the plot?
The plot. Okay, if we're using the sliding, okay, the fact that there was one, I think I'll go with 4.
4? Yes, and we are using our sliding riff track scale for this.
Yeah, because it has all the. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's not great, but it has all. But it has all the working parts that a plot should have. Every scene advances the story. There's really not much fat on the story. I guess the one like the whole unnecessary thing, like the cat fight. That was just
the
weird.
burlesque cat fight.
Yeah. But other than that, you got a lot going on. You got Jan in the Pan. You got the assistant. You've got Bill. You've got the old girlfriend. You've got the monster. You've got a lot going on, and everything paid off. So I'm giving it a 4.
Yeah. Okay. The acting. It was your standard 50s acting.
Yeah, it's very 50s acting. So I think I'm going to give that a 4 as well.
A 4. The dialogue.
Again, well, I mean,
I love some of the lines in this. Like, are you the one stealing the limbs from the? What if I am?
That whole thing where it's just so casual, to be like, you're doing this horrible thing. So what if I am? I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3, all right. Cinematography. It's all on sets except for some of the outdoor stuff.
All of the all of the effects, I guess you could really only do in camera effects.
Yeah, I liked the driving montage because it was, like you said, it was way more filled with action or stuff happening than most of the other driving scenes we get.
Yeah,
Replica, Birdemic, Manos.
I do have to take away some points as far as cinematography goes. I mean, as cool, I do got to give it props for that table that they made for the long shots and the wide shots, so that they could be like, oh, this is an actual head. Be like, it's not just they didn't just have the actress underneath the table the entire time. They actually built a prop. So, but I think I have to take points away for how clumsily the accident was staged.
Yeah.
So I think if it wasn't for that, it would get 4 like everything else. But I think I got to I would give it a 3, but I think that prop does a lot for me. That just shows that they weren't lazy, that that they actually cared. So I think I'm going to go 3.5.
Okay. I think the editing has to take a few dings too because of that that whole car accident thing. The rest of it was fine. There wasn't confusing editing, except for that car crash sequence.
Yeah, that car crash was just where I wasn't even sure that a car crash had occurred. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
All right, 3 for that one. All right, now on to the effects. We had a decent looking quote monster who had an eyeball almost all the way up in the top of his cone head.
Yeah. It was fun to look
not bad
at.
for a pile of tissue that he injected his serum to and it came to life.
Yeah.
And of course, we have Jan in the Pan herself.
Yeah. Which, that prop again, pretty good.
Yeah. And the massaged brain at the beginning.
The movie is very ambitious for the kind of budget that it had and the kind of movie that it is.
I'm thinking a 4 for effects, honestly.
I'm gonna go with you 4, yeah.
Just because, again, using the riff track sliding scale, I think it's fitting. All right, now we're to the other interesting one, Dave. Sound and music.
Okay, so the music is, I don't know. So so they had 2 credited composers on this.
Yep.
And it definitely, the tone of it doesn't match, the seriousness of what's happening. doesn't match the music sometimes.
Outside of the main theme.
Yeah.
Which actually gets a lot of credit for creating a sinister mood. That was Abe Baker and Tony Restiano.
Yeah.
Restanio, something like that. One of the two. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, like when he crashed his car, the music was almost
like,
whimsical. It was. I think that's
whimsical.
what they say, that it felt very whimsical. So it's kind of out of place in some spots.
Yeah.
In about half the spots, I'd say, at least half the spots.
I would give it a 3. I would take it down from a 4 to a 3, just based on that.
Yeah. None of the music was really bad. It just wasn't.
It's not unlistenable. It's just
didn't fit the scenes.
And you're just like, and your attention is drawn right to it. It's just like,
directing.
I can't think of, like, I mean, we've already harped on the accident scene a bunch, and I've already taken away points in at least 2 other categories for it. So the directing is competent. 4.
Yeah, 4. Okay, and then our other character / personality.
Oh, I've given this one a 5 for characters and personality. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Like,
this
you have Jan the Pan, you have Dr. Bill, who's just like a character who like just is the one tone the entire time, even when he's doing like evil. Like he really didn't even care when he dies,
right?
But I like. In fact, I think Dr. Bill has really more. Like, I think he's more of a character than Jan of the Pan is. Jan of the Pan is like iconic. You have the monster. You have the assistant. You have all the women in this movie who are just like characters unto themselves. They could like be their own movie. But yeah, I mean, like this has a great kind of like really cool, unique set of characters. So I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah. I would agree with that. And the riffs, of course, for this one. Now, this isn't. We talked about this earlier. This isn't the first time that this group, at least part of this group, has worked with this movie before.
But I think we would be remiss if I didn't say at least that there were some jokes like, "Yep, that's Matthew J. Elliott right there."
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was some really, really good stuff in this. The whole bit with Mary Jo not being able to remember why this movie is so familiar to her, because she was Jan in the Pan, in the skits, and there was right at the beginning when they were done with the surgery with reviving the dead man by squeezing his brain a little bit. They took off their surgical masks.
Yeah.
And they make a joke about, I can't believe we've been wearing these things for 2 years straight.
Yeah,
that one got me. I laughed super hard at that one. And this, it's great to have something that we're familiar with and have it looked at from a completely different angle.
Perspective,
and yeah, we had Bridget and Mary Jo wrote on this. Matthew J. Elliott, of course, good friend of us and the podcast here. And Zach wrote on it too. And I think they all did a quite wonderful job on this riff.
I would say, again, that Matthew J. Elliott, you could tell he worked on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Like his signature kind of wit really stood out to me in a lot of different places. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah, every once in a while you'd hear a riff and it would just it would hit a little different. And you're just like, yep, there's Matthew. there's his writing right there shining through. Not that the rest of the writing is bad by any means.
No, but like you can tell. Like Matthew has a very signature wit that I have come to appreciate quite greatly, and
Yes.
it's always a treat to hear it come out of Bridget or Mary Jo's mouths,
Word
I guess I
holes?
should say. Yeah. I know there's a word I'm looking for here.
All right. Well, our final score for the brain/head that wouldn't die, 38.5 out of 50,
That's pretty good.
which
That's
is
really good.
That's the new points leader. I know. I think the
What?
closest one we
Wait,
got was
did it
like
beat Mikey?
37. Yeah, Mikey had 37.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it squeezed out Mikey by just a hair.
Oh, wow.
I should really be
And
keeping track of
Mikey's
these
a hard act
things.
to follow. We loved Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey was amazing. We do still need to talk about Day of the Assassins.
Okay.
The interesting thing, yeah, don't act so enthused.
Okay.
The thing about that movie is, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple years ago, when we discovered the whole Meg Multicom Entertainment Group phenomenon, as it were, with Riff Tracks, I was looking through their company catalog to see like what other movies they owned the rights to, and at that point in time, they had a page that was all Riff Tracks movies, and there were a few on there that hadn't been released yet, like Subspecies 4. There was a couple other ones that I don't remember off the top of my head. I know we have since got most of them. Day of the Assassins was one of those movies.
Now, there's another movie called Day of the Assassin that I know about because I saw it when I was a kid on Scrambled Cinemax. That's called Day of the Assassin. That's probably very different from this. So that's got me a little worried.
Well, this one was from 1979
Oh, okay.
or something
That
like
is
that.
definitely not the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're different flicks.
Okay.
But yeah, this one, Chuck Connors was in it. That's the only person I can remember off the top of my head. Glenn Ford.
Glenn Ford.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the president? I'm just kidding.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, so we have our final question, Dave. Our final question.
Oh.
Would you watch The Brain That Wouldn't Die on Rift?
I think I would. Just because I think I have. I'm pretty sure I have. Or at least like parts of it. I think I would have to say I would watch it on Rift.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would too. But I mean, it's got a place, in these movies that came out around this time. It's a little more. It's a little more polished than some of these other cult movies that came out around this time.
It's definitely better than anything Roger Corman did. Screw that guy.
Oh yeah, that's way. I mean, just look at what was the
one that we talked about?
Creature from something or other that Matthew J. and Ian did.
Yeah, the one that we hated. Yeah.
Yeah. This movie is way better than that one. It blows that one away.
Yeah. Revenge of the Sea Creature or some such.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
See,
this is the problem with all of these riff tracks running around in our brains, guys. We can't. Creature from the Haunted Sea. There it is.
In our brains is that we can't keep track of a lot of them anymore.
Yeah, there's too much. There's too much riff tracks going on. Oh man. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the podcast portion of our show today. Dave, if you want to participate in the gameplay. We are going to take a ad break here, a little bit longer ad break than normal while I get stuff set up on my end. But we are going to transition now into playing Riff Tracks, the game.
Well,
So if
give me a few. Well, I will. I have to go back to my house.
Yeah, don't worry. It'll take a while for me to get this set up, so I'll just be doing that. We actually have a couple different ad breaks to choose from. Yeah. Yes. Josh said I have a stalker. That's because my 8-year-old's in here hiding behind me, kind of peeking over my shoulder on camera.
Nice.
She just took off running, but
okay.
yeah,
let's do the outro.
We'll do that first, but I'm just explaining to people what's going to be happening. We're going to be taking a 2.5-minute ad break, so I can get my Switch hooked up to my capture device and make sure that that is able to switch over to that easily enough on OBS here, and I don't have any issues. But I will still be here when the ad break is over. Dave, I don't know if you want to stay on here while we're playing. You don't have to.
No, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. So Dave's going to head home, and I'm going to start some ads, and then we'll be back right after that, and we'll get stuff set up to play some Riff Tracks the game. But first, if you like the podcast and you want to support us in any way, there are a few ways that you can do that. You can head to patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffcast. And I'm putting that in the chat right now. So there's that. You can head... I spelled it wrong. That's because I'm trying to talk and do other things at the same time. I fat-fingered it. I hit an I in there instead of a U. All right, there we go. True Blue Riffcast. And you can support us for a couple dollars a month. Otherwise, you can subscribe right here on Twitch. And that obviously will help us out. We take bits and all that fun stuff on here. And, hey, if you can't right now, that's fine. All you have to do is drop us a follow right here on Twitch to be notified whenever we go live. And that way you'll never miss a live episode of the podcast. And I am Jeremy. You can find me on Twitter at PBandAwesome. And you can follow the podcast on Twitter at TBRiffcast.
And I'm Dave. You can check me out on Twitter at DChadwickAuthor. You can also check me out on my website at, tell us my website, davechadwick.info. And you can join the Dave Chadwick's Writing and Reading Group on Facebook. It's just called that. Just search Dave Chadwick's Writing and Reading Group. And it's a public group right now. Get in there and help me out. You can go to Amazon, search for Dave Chadwick, get all my books. And in fact, the audiobooks for Happy Valley and Tumbleweed Dossier are available now. And I just listened to last night the most recent chapter. It's the penultimate chapter for the Son of Santa audiobook. Listen to it. It's fantastic. I can't wait to get the last chapter. It's going to be amazing. Colette's doing an amazing job. So I can't say enough awesome things about how that's going and how excited I am for that to be finished. So, but yeah, that's it. That's all for me.
All right, and we will see you guys next Wednesday for the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.